keep a close watch on this heart of mine. I'll keep my eyes wide open all the time. I'll keep the ends out.
Hello, I'm Vincent Presley. Welcome back to the Johnny Cash discography. I've just been going through all of his stuff on vinyl. This is part 6, which is 1978 till like 86, whenever he leaves Columbia. This is the end of the Columbia years. And it finally gets pretty bad. I've been very surprised with how much I like most of his stuff. As I've said in another episode, like a lot of these 70s albums, there's hidden gems among the entire catalog, and nothing has been too terrible. But yeah, let's see what happens now. We ended the last episode with he just started taking drugs again, around like 77 or something, I guess. Yeah. Today's mug is my Life is Hard coffee mug. All right. So we're going to start this out with April 1978. I Would Like to See You Again. This is a very good album. He's back on drugs, and this is sort of an album of him reminiscing about old times. Yeah, I Would Like to See You Again is a great song. I Wish I Was Crazy Again, really awesome. Which is with Waylon. Waylon Jennings is on this one. There's a song called Abner Brown on this one that sounds like it could have been on one of his classic 60s albums. I've had this for about 15 years and never gave it much thought or much attention. I played it a couple times and I remember liking it, but it never really stood out. But yeah, I'm put a note on here for myself to play this one more often. This is a really standout album. April 78. Check it out.
I was sitting here thinking about old times, some old times, some old friends. And suddenly it crossed my mind that I would like to see you again. Lately I've been thinking that you don't love me at all. Lately I've been reading and the writing on the wall is saying, looks like yeah, she keeps me off the streets and she keeps me out of trouble. Sometimes at night, Lord, when I hear the wind, I wish I was crazy again. Yes, I wish.
Daddy, you can Audrey.
This old movie was coming on TV, and I said, let me tell you about him, son. I didn't know the pain would keep on growing, and I didn't know that it could hurt so bad. Hurt so bad, hurt so bad. You don't have to worry about me, babe. Just hook 'em up and head on out to the places where you've been. I knew an old drunk named Abner Brown. Nobody knew when he came to town. I feel so good come payday. I think of all the things I'm gonna buy when I pick up my pay. Bet it ain't raining back home. Bet your sister's still on the phone. You're supposed to love me as much as I love you. It's a shame that ain't the way it is. I've been a rambler, I've been a gambler, I've been in trouble time or two. I know a lot good-looking women Lord bless the day that I found you.
November 1978. Gone Girl. This one didn't get great reviews, which is weird. It's not a terrible one considering some of the other. But yeah, there's good stuff on here. There are a couple stinkers. He covers The Gambler in this one. It's not great. I mean, it's fine. It's a good song. I don't really care about Kenny Rogers, so I was excited to hear a Johnny version, but it's only okay. Sounds a little forced. And Song for Life, which is the last song on the album, just skip it. Those I think those are the stinkers of the album. But yeah, it's still a good album. It's a bit lighter. It's almost like that one was him reminiscing about being like crazy and he's back on the pills and he was like, yeah. And June was like, now Johnny. And then this is more of like he's happy where he is and it's a mellower album. That's how it seems to me. I don't know if any of this is true. This is just what I gather listening to albums.
She is deliciously tall, sort of a long girl. She is delightfully small, sort of a song girl. They used to call me Rockabilly, all of us ran through. When Elvis opened up the door, he slowly raised a trembling hand, gently brushed a silver strand of hair from his wrinkled brow. Come and take me to the airport. Come and pour me on that plane. 'Cause I've got no expectations to ever pass this way again. I've been up and down and out, and I have been around, and I felt good more times than I felt bad. If anyone ever finds a better way to love, it'll be her loving me. You gotta know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You don't ever count. I was born on a bayou, 30 miles out of Lafayette. My daddy was a Cajun man, and he taught me how to plow. Ain't it good, babe, you and me? We sailed the stormy waters, we calmed the angry seas. We knew we could, babe.
Now, switching gears. In 1978, this is a German-only album. It's the Unissued Johnny Cash, and this is awesome. This is stuff recorded between 1958 and 1962, so this is like peak Johnny Cash stuff that no one had until this came out. It's crazy to me that songs like Fool's Hall of Fame was never reissued, or Willie Brown. These are great songs everyone knows because they've become like, they're probably like bonus tracks on the CD issues and stuff like that. But in 1978, no one had this stuff. So yeah, this is totally essential album. The only stinker on here is Shamrock Doesn't Grow in California, which is stupid. It's a stupid song. And there's also really cool German versions of hit songs that he re-recorded for Germany, and he does a good job, and it's awesome. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I'm a big fan of the German language and people that sing in it. Not only Kraftwerk had their English and German versions, but Peter Gabriel did 2 full albums of his re-recorded in German, his 3rd and 4th albums. Bowie's done it. It's always very cool. It's probably my favorite language.
I met a girl out in a town that tore all my resistance down. I thought, what a dream this ought to be. I live to be 100. I know I can't forget the day that I broke the heart that you gave me. Well, I went down to the store, I got some brand new shoes. I told him, make the leather tough, I gotta walk the blues, walk in the blues. Well, it's plain to see you're giving me a cold shoulder. You put a chill on every thrill with a cold shoulder. On top morgen, snart Mr. Sheriff. On top mittag, spärrt er mig shine. On top of Presley so long, yes, so endlos long, ich condescend to mich sehen. Und mir ist so bang, vielleicht bin ich mein Zuhause, auf der großen Straße. A boy named Willie Brown, he was a lover of our town. Wherever he went, the girls fell down and cried for Willie Brown. Crazy about Willie Brown. Lost my job, I lost my money. I turned my back and I lost my honey. Lord, I guess I'm just a losing kind. Come break of dawn, the days roll on. The time is flying. I get up slow and then I hear our doggy whine. Rock doesn't grow in California, and you're silly. I hide the pictures of you, and I hurry to the phone. It might be you that's calling to tell me you're alone. Her brow with roses, 'cause she knew I'd be there. But Jim's another gave her worth sparkling in her hair.
Also in 1978, also German only. This is from the Bear Family Records. I had some of their other really good comps in earlier episodes. But yeah, this one's just called Johnny and June. So it's pretty much all songs with her. It's not as solid as that one, but also really good stuff on here. This one has the German version of Walk the Line on it, which is fucking awesome. But yeah, also good stuff. Check it out.
Now don't laugh at the condition the lady's in. She soon could wear a cocktail dress again. And my woman asked for little, and nothing she demands, except to hold these cotton-picking hands.
Don't turn around, don't call out my name like the breeze. It would fan a dying flame, I've got someone. Streets are dark and empty, and you walk them all alone. You think about your love affair, and wonder.
There's a rumble in the sky and all the world can hear it call. They shudder at the fury of the mighty thunderball. And the street dogs are barking, and the day is getting dark. As the night begins to fall, and the dogs will lose their bark.
You're running, jumping like a field of glee. Oh, I told you that I'd hold you. Just how did you get away from me? I had adios, aloha, este lumbago, and it's not just you.
did when they pronounced me dead. Von Virginia, so ich gerne in die Weite Welten aus, aber draußen in der Ferne.
Now back to current stuff he's working on or releasing. This came out in August 1979. Silver. It's really hard to read the back because the jacket is very shiny silver and the text is very tiny black, and you find yourself doing a lot of this trying to read the song titles. So this got him back on the charts with Ghost Riders in the Sky. Awesome song. I don't really like the production. This has that fucking big, overproduced 1979 production, and it works on Ghost Riders, but most of the album, it doesn't. It's a bit much for me. Again, I'm playing it and a song catches my ear, and it's Lonesome to the Bone. Again, this is the third time Johnny recorded the song Lonesome to the Bone within just 5 years. So then I think he knew this like was a good song, and I don't think anyone paid any attention to it. And he's like, maybe if I re-record it again. But yeah, it first appeared on Ragged Old Flag. Then he redid it for John R. Cash, and now he redid it again on here. So 3 recordings of it in 5 years. A bit much, but apparently Columbia didn't really pay attention or care what he was doing. This version is the worst. I have a little note to myself. The original is the best. This also has the first proper studio recording of Cocaine Blues. First it was Transfusion Blues back in like 61. Then it was Cocaine Blues for the like 1969 or whatever Live in the Prison albums. So he finally recorded it as Cocaine Blues in the studio for this album, and it's pretty bad. I mean, it has that 1979 production. It just sounds forced. It's the lamest version for sure. This is like 19 years after he first recorded it, and very mediocre. But yeah, there's some decent stuff on here.
Well, I was a curly-headed baby. My daddy set me down on his knee. He's the bench I slept on. Raindrops are falling on the newspapers covering me. First you gotta want to get off, bad enough to want to get on him in the first place. And you better trust in your lady luck. Pray to God that she don't give up on you right now. I've never been in prison. I don't know much about training. My favorite singer cooks my breakfast. I like her fancy, and I like her plain. Up on the ridge he rested as he went along his way. When all at once a mighty herd of red-eyed cows he saw plowing through the ragged sky. Early one morning while making the rounds, took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. Went right home and went to bed. I stuck me loving for the copen. Mary thought I would land right close to where you are.
This is a big surprise one. This came out in December 1979. This is A Believer Sings the Truth. This is a double LP gospel album. It is a great gospel album. I would say this is as good as his first one. It's upbeat, like rockin' boom chicka boom style, you know, the feeling it, do a flip down the church aisle kind of awesome stuff. It's got big production like Silver, but it works better with this album. So this is supposed to be a rare album. This is the original 1979 version. So he recorded this for Columbia, and Columbia at this point, I think, had kind of had it with him. He wasn't, you know, as popular, and he was dishing out a lot of gospel stuff. So Columbia turned it down. They're like, we don't want to put that out. So he put it out, I think himself. I think this is his own label, Cachet Records. But yeah, so he put it out like this. But then a few years later, Columbia ended up putting it out. I think Columbia is behind this. But yeah, then it was reissued as two separate albums. Believer Sings the Truth, Volume 1 and 2, with the songs in a different track order. I originally found this in a dollar bin before I knew this is the original. I just bought this version for this video. It was sealed, brand new, 1979 copy. And yes, I opened it to play it because that's what I do with my records. That's why I buy them. But anyways, those are those two versions. In 1984, I think, they put out I Believe, which again this is 10 songs from A Believer Sings the Truth with 4 outtakes. And then in the 2000s, it was on the bootleg 4, the Soul of Truth collection, which is like, you know, calls it a rare album. This does include the 4. No, it includes 3 of the 4 cut tracks that are on I Believe. But yeah, so this thing has basically been released 4 times. I wouldn't call it a rare album.
Every eye shall see, every ear shall hear the sound of angels. There are some people who say we cannot tell whether we are saved or whether all is well. I'm a newborn man. I'm a newborn man, and on the rock I stand. I'm a newborn man. He put a light on me every day. Every day. Yes, every day. Every day. There are strange things happening every day. Brethren, go where I send thee. How shall I send thee? I'm gonna send thee 2 by 2.
2 by Paul and Silas.
1 by the little bitty baby. Wings in the morning and license to fly straight to the portals of never more die. Never more pain in the old aching bones. Wings in the morning to carry your glory. Everybody's gonna be a singing a story. Everybody's gonna have a wonderful time over there. Oh, glory, hallelujah. There's a reckoning and a coming in the morning. Better get you ready, 'cause I'm giving you the warning. By the way the land is laying, I think I'd be safe saying that over the next hill we'll be home. The gates and doors were barred and all the windows fastened down. I spent the night in sleeplessness and jumped at every sound. Got Jesus in my soul, it's the only way I know. Watching every move I make, hiding every step I'm just an old chunk of coal, but I'm gonna be a diamond someday. let the world provide me. I'm gonna stay right there till Gabriel calls. We were sitting at home this morning, me and the Lord. I don't like the taste of whiskey, nor the smell of musky grass. And when they pass around the church, I've learned to let them pass. My latest sun is sinking fast. My race is nearly run. I'm gonna try to be that way. I'm gonna try to be that way. Do the kind of thing, would you walk that second mile? Turn a frown with a smile. Would you give a little more? Well, now I heard that you've been talking about me. Really, I don't mind. I expect criticism, and sometimes it's gonna be untrue and unkind. I have always had my heroes. I've loved a lot of legends. Many men in my mind are riding tall. We're gonna ride the Bible train now. No, some won't ride, but we're gonna get on the Bible train. Some ride, but not all the way. The Bible train is in the yard now, and it's on that resurrection morning when all the dead in Christ arrive. Praise the Lord, I'll have a new life. So, didn't it rain, children? Rain on my lawn, didn't it? Didn't it? Shackled by a heavy burden. Neath a load of guilt and shame, I saw a way-worn traveler in tattered garments clad, struggling up the mountain.
All right, we're to a new decade, September 1980. A lot of people, for some reason, have trouble going from the 70s to the 80s in all different genres, all different levels of popularity. I have a lot of albums where people are awesome until like 79, and then something happens. You either like switched over to the 80s and did it awesomely, or you crashed and burned. Ramones is a good example. Ramones don't really have any terrible stuff, but the one time they dipped was that end of the century Phil Spector crap. So yeah, they're two dips, in my opinion, were right around this time. And here we go with Johnny Cash. He does an album called Rockabilly Blues, September 1980. Cool title. You think it's going to be awesome. I'd say there's a couple okay songs, and even okay is a bit of a stretch. The 80s are absolutely terrible for country, but if you're gonna hear it, it's probably best to go with Johnny Cash. I mean, as bad as this is, everyone else and everything else in this time is worse. But yeah, I'd recommend just sticking to the earlier decades. The song "Woman," or WOMAN, is a real cringy song. Lots of spelling in it. Here's what I think happened with this album. So in this time, there's a whole new wave of like rockabilly that was around. And I think someone said, hey, let's call this album Rockabilly Blues, and we can have an old picture of you on the back, showing like, hey, look at this guy was actually around during that time. Isn't that cool? Don't you want to buy this? You're into those 80s new wave rockabilly bands. Dave Edmunds plays guitar. Nick Lowe produces it. And it's a shit show, really. It sounds like something you would hear in a bar scene in a super cheesy 80s movie, kind of like, like Roadhouse, but Roadhouse is 90s, but something like that kind of scene. That's what this sounds like.
One of these cold, lonesome mornings, you're gonna kill me. I'm gonna lay there and I'm gonna die. Without love, I am half human. Without love, I'm all machine. Without love, I just wanna tell you, baby, if I can, I need my WMAN. The toast of the world was a long-legged girl and the cowboy who started the fight. All over this world, all over this world, the 20th century is almost over, almost over. I took a tour to Texas and from Waco, darling, the seasons are changing. See now that I should tell you, she's a goer. And when she goes, she won't come back no more. We'll be made here and now, with your hits lightly bowed. You can see life goes on, girl, and at your feelings, feeling like you do. One-way rider, one-way down the road.
All right, June 1981. Oof. Got a little note back here for myself. The first sentence is, "This is shit." This is the Barron. I had this a long time ago and I got rid of it because it sucked, and I bought another copy for this video series. And yeah, it still sucks. I feel embarrassed just having it on. Like when it's playing, you just feel weird. Somehow the Barron was a top 10 single. It boggles the mind. The Boston Globe wrote that half of the songs are partly spoken, sometimes over syrupy strings, adds to the embarrassment. Yeah, pretty much. I'd say avoid this album, but yeah, this album is a pile of crap.
If I had known you longer, you might be a little stronger. Maybe you'd shoot straighter than you do. Maybe you'd shoot straighter than you do. We were gathered round the garbage can, passing round the bottle. We were cold and burning inside. Put myself through the fights I didn't need to fight. This thick head of mine, you couldn't get through. The boy said no, that ain't enough, Dad. All you got here is a ceiling, four walls and a floor. He left his home, train left town. I was standing on the corner with my head hung down. If I had my gun, I'd let the hammer down. I'd shoot that round that took my girl from town. He was a mountain of a man, and I want you to know he could preach hot hell or freezing snow. He carried a Bible and a canvas sack, and everybody called him the Reverend Mr. Black. Thumbing a ride one Saturday morning out of Nashville, toting my sack. I lent my car to a gal that lived in Chattanooga, and she hadn't ever brought it back. I'm the Batman in the movies that always bites the dust. I'm a Cadillac that sits out back. Yeah, there is. I sat at home on Friday last, waiting for your call, thinking as the hours passed, I dreamed I woke up and you were gone. I reached out.
September 1982, The Adventures of Johnny Cash. I thought this was going to be even worse just because, like, of how it looks. It's right after the Barron. The back has these photos. I don't know what these photos are from. Like, if this is a movie, like a wacky movie or what. They're like hanging out the window playing trombones and wearing top hats, and I don't know what the story is. I didn't look into it, but it's surprisingly better than the Barron. I actually really liked Fair Weather Friends. That was a very good song. Most of it is real decent. Yeah. Surprised by this one. Way better than the Barron. Not like 60s top tier Johnny Cash, but still, yeah, not bad.
Rainy Wednesday morning, that's the day that I was born in that old sharecropper's one-room country shack. They say my mama left me the day before she had me, and among the carburetors and the rebuilt generators, I spent the whole night picking on an old flat-top guitar. John, fair weather friends, fair weather sailors will leave you stranded on life's shore, but one true friend who really loves you. When I was a child, my family would travel back to western Kentucky, where my parents were born, to a backward old town that I often remember. The captain of Alpha Centauri, we must be out of our minds, though we are shipmates and bound for tomorrow. You may live alone and close your eyes, some folks do. You can pull a slouch hat down low on my ear. I'm yearning to leave this old town on the fly and lose all my troubles and care. Till the false and the fair see the light, who's to care that you live or you laugh or the sun came to shine in a sweet drop of dew at your feet. He stands there like a demon, a guitar for a pitchfork, a stare that looks right through to your soul. Well, here I am, a hobo, with the hobo's pots and pans, in an Alberta rail yard, with the red-faced hobo friends. Here comes a train.
August 1983. Johnny 99. Okay. First, I'd like to mention the cover. I don't understand what was going on in the 80s, and I've been talking about this since like the mid 90s with my friends. This weird 80s detective trend. A lot of people did this. Gary Newman went from like being weird, sci-fi looking Gary Newman to being detective looking Gary Newman on 2 albums. Alice Cooper in the 80s became Detective Alice Cooper. There's a lot more, and I really wanted to come up with a whole list, but those are the ones I remember. I did ask my friend Jeff, and he brought up Chick Corea and Miles Davis. Both also have detective looks going on in the 80s. I don't know why. What was with like, and it's not even like 80s detectives. It's like in the 80s, they're obsessed with like 1940s or something detective look. So yeah. Anyways, that's the cover. This is as bad as the Barron. It's embarrassing. I have a note on here that it sounds like bored karaoke vocals. There's like Springsteen and Dylan songs. But yeah, it's just terrible. Apparently I did like Brand New Dance a lot. There's a duet with June on here, Brand New Dance, and I starred that one on a little note. So there is that.
is Joe Roberts. I work for the state. I'm a sergeant out in Perrinville, barracks number 8. Saw a girl in Tampa, I asked her for a date. She said, baby, I'm a sailor, this thing better wait. I said, well, the mansion where the general used to live is burning down. Coleman Bonner was a fiddle playing fool. He's a backwoods rounder and a breaker of mules. Coleman Bonner's got a wore-out bow. He's been playing all day down the Utah. Well, they closed down the auto plant at Mawali last month. Ralph went out looking for a job, but he couldn't find a story about a good man who had many a problem before he reached dry land. It ain't easy for a good man to go down. People on St. Vincent got many sad tales to tell. A girl from the canyon smiled a smile that brought me home. As sick and bleeding as I was, took me on her own.
What's in our hearts? Maybe we should part, but after so many years, that would only bring loneliness, sorrow, and tears anyway. I never could, never would, never will ever kill what's between us.
I've come here to tell you folks I'm ragged, but I'm right. I'm a tramp and a gambler. I stay out late at night, but a poorhouse date 3 times.
All right. Out Among the Stars. This was recorded in 1984, but it wasn't released till 2014 when certain people got a hold of all of his stuff and could do whatever they wanted with it. It's not good. It's not as terrible as Barron or Johnny 99 or like any of that, but it's still bad. There's some okay songs. It goes from bad to like this is fine for 1984. I have a theory that these unreleased albums always stand out and sound a little better, like this one and that unreleased 1975 gospel album I talked about in another episode. I think they're just being mixed and mastered better than albums of this time were. So I think that's one of the reasons this sounds better than those albums. Like maybe they went back and mixed it in a less painful 80s pop country way. Again, that's just my theory playing these albums. So yeah, that's most of it. And then you get to the end of the album, the John Cash / Elvis Costello version of She Used to Love Me a Lot, which I think is possibly the biggest piece of shit ever released with the Johnny Cash name on it. It's a disgrace. Although lucky for me, I don't have that Pile of Puke remix album, which is, I'm guessing, even way worse than this. I've heard snippets of that, and it was enough to make me puke. So yeah, I'm not going to be sitting through that. Lucky for me, I don't have that. I don't think it's been on vinyl. I don't have it. I never want to hear it. But yeah, it's bad enough hearing this crappy version of this one song on here. Skip it. Luckily, it's the last song on the album, so you can just stop this album before you get to that.
Night at a liquor store in Texas. Closing time, another day is done. I drove a truck
And I were a waitress,
and I ordered coffee.
and I poured you some.
Then you'd stop by on your way sometimes later.
And if we are wrestled, I'd see that you won.
Through the window today, she was sitting in the Silver Spoon Cafe. I started to keep going, but something made me broken hearts, me and you. After all all this time. That big 8-wheel rolling down the track means your true loving daddy ain't coming back. I'm moving on, I'll soon be gone. They said they'd sold their last ticket the day before, so I kinda just hung around the backstage door. Then down the steps she came, man, oh man. Gently break the news that you don't love me, and give my best regards to your good old dad. So I turned to ups and downers and everything between. Still I can't get her good loving off my mind. Mama, I guess you heard I got married in Tennessee. I got a blue-eyed girl who thinks the world of me. Son, you were born to stray. Someday you'll settle down. I guess there'll come a time, maybe I'll toe the line. But I had no one to give the flowers to. I needed the celebration, a September coronation, and I admitted to myself I needed you. Couldn't manage the problems I brought on myself, and it just made it worse. She used to love me a lot. I sat down beside her and she smiled. She said, "Where have you been? It's been a while."
October 19. Oh, before I talk about this one, I should mention also in 1984, Johnny Cash did The Chicken in Black, which I had never heard of until doing this series. It was a single. It's a jokey, funny song about how he has to have a brain transplant and he gets the brain of a robber, like a cartoony silent movie robber. And his brain gets put in a chicken who becomes a famous chicken star. And there's a music video for it. So check it out. The music video is on YouTube. There's two different stories about this song. Johnny Cash has said, I think he said it, someone claimed that it was a like fuck you to Columbia song, that he was just ending his time with them and he did a stupid song on purpose. But there's other people in the scene that knew him and say that's complete baloney. And he was actually into doing the song and thought it might be another hit, like, Boy Named Sue. I think he didn't actually have a problem with it until he was talking with his old friend Waylon Jennings, who told him he looked like a goddamn fool in the music video. And that's when Johnny Cash got ashamed about it and demanded it gets taken off MTV and stuff. But yeah, go watch the music video. As cringy as that story sounds, you watch the video and he looks like he's having fun. So I think he was into it when he was making it. It is embarrassing, but these are rough times. So whatever. Then we get to October 1985. This is his last solo album for Columbia, Rainbow. Ugh, okay. The first couple songs I actually thought, this isn't as bad as I remember. It's not as bad as 99 and the Barron. But then the third track was bad, and the fourth just really made me cringe and feel like embarrassed that someone might hear me listening to this. It's that kind of bad. There's a Creedence cover that's just painful. It's as painful as the Minutemen cover of the same song. Have you ever seen The Rain? I never understood why Minutemen covered that, and like Minutemen cover it totally straight. It's not even like, punk bands would cover classic rock or oldie songs, and it was either like done sarcastically or punked out or something. And when Minutemen do that Creedence song. They play it straight, and D Boon just tries to sing, and it's painful. And this one's painful too. This just sounds like karaoke, like they made Johnny Cash do it or something. So Chips Moman is the producer. And there's a note in the liner notes on the back. Apparently he during the recording, he said, "This could sell hundreds." so yeah. The thing is, he's the fuck who wrote the worst songs on this album. He's the one who told him to do the Creedence song. And he's the one behind this wretched like production. This is like easy listening 1985 just garbage production. So not only does Chips suck, but he's also a snarky dickhead that like makes comments during the recording sessions about how this album's going to sell hundreds of copies. It's like, isn't that your fault? Isn't that partly your fault? All your fault? The couple Cash songs and Here Comes That Rainbow, which is a Christopherson song, are the most playable things on here. This is the worst so far.
Letting you go like a hot horseshoe. I can't take another heartache from you. Think about how it's gonna be when you start back to lead and lead. When your dancing shoes have lost their shine, I'm gonna be gone. The scene was a small roadside cafe. The waitress was sweeping the floor. I drank wine with winos in the alleys dim. I've sipped wine with kings. Hard on easy streets sometimes. Blue on easy streets someday. Someone told me long ago, there's a calm before through every town. Saw fortunes lost and found, and when your train faded with others, can't be bothered. They run like water in a mountain stream. Instead of like you have to, love me like you used to love. Put on your stockings just to please you. Lord, she said, Casey, can you only stay a while? How many times I told you it's got nothing to do with you? Why can't you see? But there's a difference in our music.
And we're going to end this one with, this was released May 86. This is Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings' Heroes. It was recorded 84, 85. I think it might have even been recorded before Rainbow. But guess what? It's Chips Moman again. Absolutely terrible music arrangement and production. I think maybe some of these songs could have been better if Asshead Chips wasn't behind it. Yeah. At this point, I've been really struggling to get through these. And honestly, sometimes I just, after like a minute into a song that's giving me a headache, I just have to turn it off. I do think this is a little bit better than Rainbow. Not much. Okay, so Feel the Diamonds caught my ear, and I was like, well, this song's pretty good. So I looked into it, and once again, that's a song that was later redone for the American recordings, which I've mentioned before. One of the awesome things about the American years is Rick Rubin. I'm guessing it was Rick Rubin, but someone, let's say Rick Rubin, kind of seemed to go through the unpopular albums, unpopular era, kind of deep cuts, and found like the better songs and had them like bring them back. So that's cool. But yeah, that song's pretty good.
You'd stand in the rain to buy a ticket. Front row seats are always first to go. But I don't believe I'm ever going wrong again. I'm gonna slip off with my cousin for a little shot of bourbon, field of diamonds in the sky. Silent beauty shine high. Are your tears the angels cry? On the high road, heroes ever on track, never give up, never look back, never let. She's around her, I can tell you that. She can't sing them all night too. Now the warriors are waving their old rusty sabers. Anyway, when they start talking about the fire and hell, I get spooked. So let's just sit here in the truck and act like we don't know him when they I knew the part, but in my heart, the rose of my doorstep, my eyes began to fade, and I turned back to the room where my love and I had laid.
There is other stuff going on in this era that I'm not covering. Like, there's like the Class of 55 and Survivors albums. That's like him with like other Sun people. I used to have those. I don't remember liking them. And I'm not going to buy them again. I bought Heroes again. I used to have that out of a dollar bin. I ended up spending like $15 or $20 for that just for this video. And it's not worth $15 to $20. Yeah, it's not great. So yeah, that ends his Columbia career. In the next episode, we're going to start with a weird gospel album that's Wally's between albums, and then it'll be the Mercury years. They only did a handful of albums for him, but that's where we'll start next time. And then American, and then we're done. So can you get through two more? We'll see.